Communication, PARL and Religious Liberty. Welcome. This is a report of the Communication Department presented to the 6th Constituency Meeting of the Southern Africa Union Conference. The Office of the Director incorporates the following departments: Communication Department, Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Department, Translation Department, the Management of Production and Distribution, Signs of the Times, Media, Broadcasting and Video Production. The Communication Department has continued producing and distributing Maranatha Magazine, which is the official newsletter of the SAU, the GC's Adventist World Magazine, and SID's Echo Magazine. However, since the COVID-19 pandemic had caused churches to shut down early in 2020, the magazine is now available digitally on their respective platforms. PARL. The President, Dr. Dave Spencer, Pastor Preacher Ngwenya, SAU Stewardship Director, and Pastor Changase, KNFC, visited Queen Mantfombi and her children when the Zulu King Goodwill Zwelithini passed away. They again attended the funeral of Queen Mantfombi few months after conveying the condolences of the SAU territory and shared a message of hope. During the COVID pandemic, the Department of Basic Education (DBE) decided to let schools do makeup classes by extending the school week to 6 days. Dr. Dave Spencer, Dr. Ramoketsi, Advocate Andrew Dupriya and Catherine Jekwa had a meeting with the DBE, who as a result gave a written undertaking that government schools would not hold makeup classes on Saturday, thereby not infringing the religious liberty of the teachers and pupils of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The South African Police Service, SAPS, invited churches to help in the fight against crime in the community at Sandton SDA Church, forming a Community Policing Forum, CPF. The captain of Sandton Police echoed encouraging sentiments on how the church needs to help the SAPS in this fight.
We need the churches to be part of us for moral degeneration. In other words, we cannot prevent crime as police only, but at the same time, we cannot say the community, they are the victims. We are also the victims of crime. Therefore, if we work together and the communities and the churches, all of us will benefit out of that.
Translation. The SAU Translations Department, in conjunction with the BSG team, assigned various translators and proofreaders to translate the quarterlies into multiple languages: Afrikaans, Sesotho, isiXhosa, and isiZulu, which are published by the General Conference Sabbath School Department on their website. Bible Study Guides. The Communication Department has successfully ensured that conferences and churches receive their Bible study guides timelessly through the provision of availing them online for readers who prefer to access the study guides in their home languages. Signs of the Times. The Signs of the Times has been housed in the Communication Department since 2012, after 27 years of committed custodianship by Dr. Webster. Under the editorship of Dr. Gerald Dupriya, the Signs continued producing bi-monthly subscriptions. Sadly, due to a shift in reading patterns, the circulation declined to a level where the Signs was no longer financially sustainable. The last physical publication was in July 2019, before moving online. Media. When churches closed in 2020 due to the pandemic, SAU directors and elders prepared sermons of hope and encouragement, which were streamed on Facebook and YouTube for wider reach. Soon enough, churches and conferences started streaming, with Trans Orange Conference TOC garnering airtime on Gau TV, whilst Cape Conference was on Bay TV. Meals on Wheels Community Services, MOWCS, benefited extensively from the SAU media teams to cover events, and one of MOWCS's videos was aired on Adventist News Network (ANN) on 18 December 2020, with the help of SID Communication Department, SID Media, and Hope Channel. The SAU media team continues to cover the events happening in SAU for all departments, helping them to reach and turn many to Christ. We are excited about the new developments in Namibia, where we now have Hope Channel Namibia and the new AWR radio station that Adventist World Radio want to establish in one of our conferences in Lesotho. Working hand in glove with our division leaders, we believe that this will be possible and will enhance our efforts to spread the gospel far and wide in our SAU territory. We believe as SAU Communication Department that media is indeed the way to finish God's work as tabulated in Matthew 24 verse 14. Recommendations. The media department will need to expand in personnel in order to cover more news and events throughout the SAU territory. More funding for the media department is needed for equipment so that training of church communication secretaries can be carried out regularly at conference level. The function of proofreading, liaising with various parties to produce Bible study guides, should be managed separately from the communication director. Appreciation. Special thanks to the officers and directors of the SAU for their support. Ertzi Beamish and Karabo Mokwa on Translation Coordination and Maranatha Magazine. Karabo Mokwa, who served as secretary to the department during the term. Elizabeth Sibanda for her enthusiasm and dedication before she returned to Zimbabwe in 2017. Kudakwashe Chijande for his professionalism and skill since joining the SAU family in 2019. Noel Sibanda and Sid Media for their guidance and support. Gerald Duprier for being willing to take on the role of a support person in media during this quinquennium. Sybil Duprier for the leadership and her contribution during this time.